You are listening to the Happiest Lives podcast with Jill Lillard, episode number 58.
Welcome to the Happiest Lives podcast, where you'll learn to think better, feel better, and become the woman God says you already are. Here's your host, Jill Lillard.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new series, Making Every Day Productive and Fun. So you may be joining me on this podcast because you want to have better relationships. You want to be a happier wife, and you may not also be married. Maybe someone told you about this podcast, and this is for you as well, even if you aren't a married person, because I believe at the heart of having better relationships, at the heart of being a happier wife is really being a happier woman. And being a happier woman is knowing who you are and whose you are. And when you know those things, when you know more who he is, you're going to show up more as the woman he made you to be. And we can embrace the idea that we are constantly becoming who we already are. We have already been redeemed and saved, and we are in the process of becoming that woman. So all of your relationships and all of your endeavors of life, the weeds and thorns of life, are all here. They are designed to make you a better person. They help you go into a deeper relationship with the Lord. This is where your faith grows legs. And when we talk about things like our routines, our level of productivity, are we having fun in our life? I think that is very relevant. It's very relevant to our relationships. It's relevant to your relationship with other people, to God, and to yourself. And so we're shifting gears a little bit this month as we talk about productivity and having fun while we are productive. And so imagine if you woke up each day and you felt excited, you felt purposeful, you were eager to embrace the day ahead. Maybe you feel that way. Maybe some days you feel that way and other days you don't feel that way. I know there is the ebb and flow in my life. There are days I wake up and I'm really excited and I have that sense of purpose. And there are other times it becomes a little more monotonous, or that uphill climb becomes wearisome and become tired. And then I get another shot of energy, some more inspiration along the way. And I think that's how all our lives are, that we are on this journey. And some days it's going to be harder than other days. Some days we are focused and we're moving ahead and we're going to feel inspired. I think there are ways that we can consider our life, ways that we can engage in our life that is going to increase our sense of being intentional, being aware of what's happening in our life. So we aren't just sitting there at the mercy, at the effect of other people's choices and other things that are happening. We want to actually live the life, participate in God's divine purposes for our life. And so I want to share some ways that I've learned to create a fulfilling and balanced life where productivity and fun go hand in hand. I think being productive is fun. I get a big adrenaline hit from that. Some people think other things are fun. And sometimes I think that I should think other things are fun and that I shouldn't think being productive is so fun. But I'm glad I do. It makes the everyday more enjoyable. And along with that, we have to balance that out with being able to just be present in the moment and enjoy stillness, enjoy engaging with other people, enjoying the relationships that we're in. Being productive is being fruitful. It's being effective with your time. And so today I want to explore how we can redefine productivity, how we can infuse joy into our daily routines, and ultimately how we can live a life that is both meaningful and enjoyable. So as I said already, I like to get things done. It's satisfying to me to check off a to-do list. I love routines. I love creating systems, ways of doing things. I'm also a passionate person. So I can't simply adhere to a routine if it doesn't feel fruitful or meaningful. If I don't feel connected to it, I'm going to ask why. Why are we doing it this way? I can only go through the motions for so long. And maybe you're the same way too. We can get bored. So this month, I'm going to share some of my routines and techniques that I've discovered for getting things done and for keeping it fun. And so we'll explore that throughout the month. The problem with being attached to getting things done, to getting this adrenaline hit from your accomplishments, is it can be a way of glorifying the flesh. We can look at all that we have accomplished, what we've gotten done for the day. Feeling satisfied at the end of the day for what I've accomplished on my to-do list is one thing, but making that uber important to my identity, I think, is another thing. And getting puffed up because, hey, look what I got done today. That could be a problem, for some of us. And so I think when we get so attached to our accomplishments, just like some of you out there get attached to maybe being validated from others. I think I heard that once, that some people are more drawn to achieving things and others receive more of their sense of value and worth by how others esteem them or compliment them. But before I go on a tangent, let's stay focused on productivity. When we combine productivity with passion and partnership, we aren't simply getting things done and checking off our list for the sake of accomplishment. We're anchoring ourselves into a greater purpose, being who God made us to be, which is both active and passive. It's not passive in the way that we're disengaged, that we're letting life just happen to us, that we're just sitting there praying that God would deliver us for something, but we're not taking the actions that he is instructing us to do. We are passive in the way that we are in a partnership. We aren't acting as though it all depends upon us. And so we're staying tethered to our Creator. We are allowing him to bind our heart to his, to make his will our will, which always is going to lead to greater fruitfulness. It will always lead to loving God and others more. It will lead to a life that is dedicated to loving others and a willingness to be dedicated and flexible when things don't go our way. So trusting in God's sovereignty and leaning into him with all of our plans, with all of our routines for the day. The first thing I want to talk about is redefining productivity. Productivity isn't just about checking off tasks on a to-do list. It's about making meaningful progress toward our goals. It's about aligning our actions with our values and priorities and focusing on what truly matters, what really matters to you. In Philippians 3:14, the Apostle Paul writes, "I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." Our prize, our priority is our relationship with the Lord and the life that he has designed for us to live, being the woman that he says we are. This verse reminds me that in all of this, our goals are rooted in our faith and our purpose. So when we shift our mindset from quantity to quality, we are creating space for activities that will bring us joy and fulfillment while we are still making progress towards our goals. The second thing is being able to plan with a purpose. If you want to make every day productive and fun, you want to have a purpose to what you're doing. And whether the purpose is simply to have fun that day, that hour, that event, you want to be able to put a plan in place. Planning is key to making everyday life productive and fun. I believe when we plan, we actually make time for more spontaneity in our life. We can work more efficiently and effectively when we have clear goals and we prioritize the tasks that need to happen. Proverbs 16:3 reminds us to commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. We can align our goals with his will by seeking his guidance in our planning process. However, our plans must allow for some flexibility. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Embracing the unexpected, when we are flexible, this can lead to unplanned moments of joy and discovery. A third thing is being able to be still, to be in the moment, being present in your life, fully engaged in whatever you're doing. When we approach everyday tasks from a place of peace and rest, even the most mundane activities can become opportunities for joy and growth. Psalms 46:10 encourages us to be still and know that I am God. We can find beauty and meaning in the most simple things in our life, in the mundane things of life, when we are aware and we are grateful for the present moment that we're in. So often we're trying to get to the end to check the thing off the list to accomplish the tasks, when really our joy is found in the journey. The process of getting to the thing that we want is actually our life. The last thing is being able to nourish your body, mind, and spirit is going to help you create a more productive and fun life. And so taking care of ourselves, this isn't selfish. When we prioritize taking care of our body and our inner world, we're going to have more energy. We're going to be more focused, and our wherewithal to love and serve others is going to be greater as we become who God created us to be. In 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, we are reminded that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, and we are called to honor God with them. Nourishing your body, taking care of your mind, your emotional health, and feeding yourself spiritually is going to look different for everyone. And so it may be taking a walk outside, reading a book, taking a break in the middle of the day to just sit still and tune into the sounds around you, to listen to the birds. It may be having a morning quiet time, taking a nap, making sure that you're prioritizing the time to prepare healthy food and to exercise, indulging in a hobby. For me, a lot of times during the day, it's Marco Poloing my friends, sending them a voice video and hearing back from them, or having coffee with a friend. The key is to be able to tune in to our hearts, to listen to our bodies, and give ourselves the care and attention that we need. And so as we close, I want to give you some practical tips for incorporating productivity and fun into your life. One is setting clear goals, starting each day with an achievable goal for what you want to accomplish, whatever that is. Like when the day ends, what do you want to have created? Whether it's space to enjoy your family and be present with your kids, that would be a goal. Maybe you just want to be present and be where God wants you to be. Well, that's a goal that you are listening. You're opening yourself up for his direction. And maybe there is a project around the house that you want to get done. You want to get all your bathrooms cleaned and your house vacuumed. Maybe you want to plan a birthday party for someone you love. But you can break down your larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps, and that can make it less daunting if you have a bigger project that you are wanting to accomplish. I think also prioritizing your tasks, identifying the most important tasks that align with your goal and tackle those things first. Being able to create some routines, and we're going to talk more about this next week, but a routine is a fixed or regular way of doing things. It's often characterized by a series of activities or tasks performed in a particular order at a specific time. Routines can provide structure and predictability to our daily lives, and they can help us manage our time, accomplish tasks, and maintain consistency in our habits and behaviors. Another technique is time blocking, scheduling specific blocks of time for different activities, including work, leisure, exercise, and self-care. So it's kind of like having a budget. How much of your time is going to go to these different important things in your life? And this will help ensure that you allocate time for both productivity and fun activities. I also think being able to mix work with pleasure, incorporating elements of fun or creativity to make work more enjoyable. Like I love to listen to podcasts. So if I'm cleaning, I might put a podcast on or listen to your favorite music while you work. Decorate your workspace with inspiring quotes or photographs. Take short breaks to engage in the activities you enjoy. If you're someone who is sensitive to aesthetics and wants like a peaceful, relaxing environment that you function best in, that creating an environment that you can work in that kind of fuels your soul, making that a priority. Experiment with different techniques. So exploring different productivity techniques, such as the Pomodoro technique, time batching, the Eisenhower matrix, or the chore lottery, which is something I came up with years ago. Those are all techniques that we can put in place that are going to help us. And I'm going to talk about this in a few weeks. So not next week, the week after, we're going to explore some of these techniques you can use as you try to create more productivity in your life. Being able to adapt and refine your approach based on your preferences and needs is very important. Otherwise, we get bored and we start feeling ineffective and we start feeling disconnected from those different routines. I think being able to stay flexible, being open to adjusting your routines and plans as needed. As I encourage you to be flexible, I also encourage you to adhere to a plan. Sometimes I've said if someone isn't bleeding, then it's not an emergency and you need to stay focused on what you're doing, because a lot of times we can distract ourselves with other emergencies or things that seem important, because that is a great way to avoid the hard work that we have set up for ourselves to do to achieve a goal. And so we can really get off course. And so I think some of us need to work on being more flexible and others of us need to work on being more maybe inflexible. It makes me think of walking a dog. I've noticed my mom and my sister, if they walk the dog, they'll have a really long leash. I think my husband does the same thing. Whereas my son, my dad, myself, we like to keep the dog on a shorter leash so that he's not tripping everyone else. Sometimes we're creating too much space and it's going to interfere what we're trying to accomplish. But other times, if we're trying to accomplish a walk and we're not enjoying the walk, maybe those who are walking with their dog on a long leash, the dog is getting to just smell the lilacs and feel the sun and have a good time. And maybe there's a time for that as well. Okay. So you have to balance, I think, being flexible, but also being a little bit rigid so that you can adhere to your plan and at the end of the day, ultimately accomplish the goal. Being able to celebrate the small wins, acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Reward yourself for reaching milestones and making progress toward your goals. This is going to help boost your motivation and morale. It's easy to just see what is left to be done or ways that we fell short. And how often do we pause and acknowledge what we have done right, what we have accomplished? So I think that is going to be equally as important as evaluating any changes or adaptations that we want to make. Incorporating playfulness. So to make your daily routines more enjoyable, infuse elements of playfulness. You can gamify a task. You can incorporate humor, or approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and creativity. And one of the ways we can do this is being able to ask questions. And we're going to talk about that one of the weeks this month. Practicing gratitude. Cultivate a mindset of gratitude by reflecting on the things you're thankful for each day. Keep a gratitude journal or use a gratitude apps to record your blessing and moments of joy. That's going to help you be productive and have fun and not lose the purpose of it all. Finding joy in the everyday moments. When you appreciate the little things in life and find joy in everyday moments, you are able to pause and notice things, notice the beauty of nature, savoring and enjoying the food that you're eating, spending time with your loved ones and actually really being present and connecting with them. Another way that we can make every day productive and fun is getting support. And that's what we do in coaching. I am here to support you, to help you do the brain work, the emotional work that's going to help you clarify what it is that you are wanting to produce in your life. What do you want your life to look like? And it's going to help you get unstuck if there are some ways that you feel like you are stuck in a pattern of rigidness Or maybe you're stuck in a pattern of being too flexible and need a little bit more rigidity to your day so that your life is actually productive and fun and you're not just wasting energy feeling like you're always behind or not accomplishing anything. If you can incorporate these practical tips and resources into your daily routines, you will enhance both productivity and fun, which is going to lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. So as we conclude, I want to leave you with a challenge. Pick one thing. What is something that stood out for you today in the podcast that you can put into application in your life? What is one way you can embrace the power of productivity and fun in your everyday life? Pick one thing and apply it. By redefining productivity, planning with purpose, embracing stillness and being present, and prioritizing nourishing our body, mind, and spirit, we can unlock each day's true potential. Let's commit to living intentionally, finding joy in the journey, and making every moment count. I thank you guys for listening today, and I look forward to seeing many of you inside Clarity and Courage, our coaching group for Christian women who want to become more the women that God says they already are. You want better relationships. If you want to live more purposeful, meaningful, productive, and fun lives, let me help you. I would love to see you face to face over a Zoom call, whether you choose to get coached or you want to be on the call and see somebody else get coached. And I want to give you some of those resources that you can do on your own time that are going to help you process and apply this work to your everyday life. So you can sign up at myhappyvault.com, Clarity and Courage. I will see you guys next week on the podcast. Thanks for coming today. Bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, I would love to help you take this concept and apply it. Join me in Clarity and Courage, my cost-effective coaching program for Christian women. Each month, receive the tools you need to apply the concepts and grow. We will meet on a live coaching call where you can ask me anything. Plus, you get access to the worksheet workshop where you can have conversations with other women just like you. Learn more and sign up at myhappyvault.com/Clarity and Courage.